Hello, my name's Erica. I work for a deaf charity, Sign Health. We're meeting here today with an interpreter to translate our conversation between BSL and English. We're meeting Dr. Chintal. She is a GP and she has been vaccinating people in London. She's come to meet us today to talk about the vaccine. We would like to know more about how it prevents coronavirus. Dr. Chintal, welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much for having me.
First thing I'd like to ask you, how safe is the vaccine? Does it have any side effects? And what are they? Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Sure. So if we come to your first question about how safe it is, the vaccine is very safe and effective. It has undergone extensive phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 trials and currently undergoing phase 4 trials. And it's been tested on tens of thousands of volunteers to check for both efficacy, safety, and side effect profile. I know there's a lot of concern about the speed of development of the vaccine, and there are lots of reasons why it has been developed quicker than perhaps other vaccines have. It's been a huge collaborative global piece of work with lots of scientists working together. The trials that I mentioned before, the phase 1, 2, and 3 trials, would usually occur sequentially, one after each other, but they've actually been run parallel to speed up the process. And there have been rolling assessments. So as soon as data is available, it's been analysed and acted upon. So at all these stages, of course, vaccine safety has not been compromised, but it has meant that we've been able to develop vaccines much quicker than we might normally have. And then coming to the other question about the side effect profile and what they could be, as I mentioned, I have been vaccinating and I haven't seen lots of significant side effects at all in our clinics. And the side effects would be very similar to the side effects of other vaccines. So locally, at the point of the injection site, you might have a little bit of redness, a little bit of tenderness and soreness. And then systemically, there may be a slight low-grade fever, a little bit of a headache, perhaps some muscle aches. However, these should not be persistent and they shouldn't be severe. If you did have any kind of severe symptoms, remember you should be protected straight away. Any kind of symptoms similar to COVID, any other illness, then you should seek medical advice.
Lovely, thank you. So how do people get notified about going for vaccines then?
So you will be contacted by your GP depending on your personal level of risk. So the Joint Committee on Vaccination Immunisation has come up with a list of priority groups of vaccination, and this is all based on their level of risk. So you would be contacted directly, and this starts with, has already started with care home residents and those aged above 80, and we will work down the list as according to your priority risk.
Lovely. There's different vaccinations out there currently. Do I get to choose which one I have? Can I request which one I have?
So currently, at the time of recording this call, we have 2 vaccines available from the NHS. We have the COVID-19 mRNA vaccine by Pfizer and BioNTech, and we also have the AstraZeneca vaccine that was developed in Oxford. They're both very effective and they're both safe. And unfortunately, you will not be offered a choice in which vaccine you have. It will be dependent on availability at that time. However, you will have the same vaccine for both your doses, so both the first dose and the booster dose.
So once I've had the first dose of the vaccine, do I have to go back and have my second dose?
Yes. So the evidence shows that the first dose does offer really good protection within 2 or 3 weeks. And it suggests that the first dose actually will offer protection for up to 12 weeks. However, to get long-term protection, it is really important to have that second booster dose also.
Some people have concerns about the risks long term and the side effects long term of having the vaccine. Can you talk to us a little bit about those?
Of course, but I think it's really important to remember that all vaccines, as I mentioned before, undergo really extensive and rigorous testing before they're licensed to be used. This testing has to demonstrate the quality of the vaccine, the efficacy of the vaccine, the safety, and the side effect profile, as I mentioned before, and they are tested on tens of thousands of volunteers prior to being approved. The UK policy is made by the Department of Health and Social Care, and they take advice from the Joint Committee of Vaccine Immunisations on making this. And both the vaccines that are currently in use have been shown to have high levels of protection. They're shown to be very safe, and they have been approved by the MRHA, so the Medicines and Healthcare Regulatory Agency.
So after I've had a vaccine, can I still be at risk of contracting COVID-19?
Right, so the way that the vaccine works is that it should provide protection for those that have been vaccinated by preparing the immune system and prepping it. So in the event of exposure to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the immune system responds by either preventing the vaccine, by either preventing you contracting the virus and getting an infection, or by reducing the severity of the infection should you get it. So no vaccine is 100%, so there is a possibility of still contracting and developing COVID-19 after having the vaccine. However, the studies have shown that both the vaccines are very, very effective at preventing the disease and, most importantly, reducing the severity of any infection should you get it.
So why do we need to be vaccinated then, and we need this vaccine?
So the majority of the population is still susceptible to, and by susceptible, I mean not immune to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And we know that this virus spreads really rapidly and really easily amongst the population. And by having a safe and effective vaccine, we can actually protect those who are most at risk against getting a serious illness or possibly dying from COVID-19. And this will ultimately save lives. It will help reduce the pressure on our National Health Service and social care services.
So what's in the vaccine?
So currently we have 2 vaccines available, as I said. One is a non-replicating viral vector vaccine, and one is a messenger RNA vaccine. It's important to also remember what's not in the vaccine. So neither of the vaccines contain any material of fetal or animal origin, and they have all been accepted and endorsed by many religious leaders and faith communities. They also don't contain any of the major allergens such as egg or latex or preservatives. You can find a full list of the ingredients on the MRHA's website, and only people with a history of a severe allergy to one of the ingredients should perhaps not be vaccinated, but this is incredibly rare.
So if people have a phobia of needles, is that going to be a problem?
So currently, all the COVID-19 vaccines available have to be given via an injection. So there is no alternate way of administering the vaccine. So if you do have a severe phobia of needles, please do contact your doctor first. There will be ways that we can help you and support you, but we would have to look at your case individually to see how we could support you with that, either before or during the time of vaccination.
If I was pregnant, is the vaccination still suitable for me?
So currently, there are no known risks associated with giving a non-live vaccine in pregnancy. The vaccine can't replicate inside your body, so it can't cause infection in either the mother or the unborn child. And the current data that we have available doesn't indicate safety concerns. However, we don't have sufficient evidence for using the vaccine routinely in pregnancy. So what the Joint Committee of Vaccination and Immunisation has recommended is that we consider vaccination in pregnancy only under certain scenarios. So these would be if there is a very high risk of exposure to the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and this cannot be avoided, or if the pregnant person had an underlying health condition which was putting them at a high risk of developing COVID-19 complications. But once again, this would be a case that would be individually discussed and individual to that person.
Once I've been vaccinated, can I go about my life as normal, or can I meet friends, visit other people in homes, or do I still have to follow government guidelines?
So at the moment, what we do know is that the vaccine stops people becoming severely ill or dying. But we don't know if it will actually stop us spreading the virus. We don't know how long the antibodies will last, whether we may need boosters or regular boosters in future. And for this reason, phase 4 trials are continuing. So currently, for the moment, you need to continue to follow all the government restrictions, whether you have been vaccinated or not. And hopefully, as we learn more and more people are vaccinated, which will increase herd immunity, then restrictions can be slowly lifted.
Thank you very much for your time today, Dr. Chintal. Thank you.
Not at all. Thank you for having me. I hope you find it helpful.